Hey everybody, back out at the same place as last time. The sun hasn't quite risen yet, but it's getting there as we are out here. We're hoping for a repeat. Are we going to see the coyote again? Maybe not sure, but as it turns out, despite what I was talking about in the car last time, we learned quite a bit about different birds. We saw multiple different ones, new ones in fact. So the plan is to basically go back. I'm going to walk the road this time because the other one was, I don't think, worth the couple minutes we may have shaved off for how uphill it more so was, and climbing rocks at some point. Not really, but like it'll be more of a flat road to get us up to there. And then I think I'm going to go a little further in the tree line, the little groups of trees that were there. My plan is to go a little bit further and hopefully get a better angle of, if they're there, the pair of prairie falcons that were doing some maneuvers, because the last time we were set up in a way so that every time they did any kind of long-winded, they would go trees right in front of. Am I making sense? I don't know. It's 6 a.m. Let's start walking. Oh, right. Something else that I hope to do differently this time is the audio. I talked about last time how the audio wasn't going to come out, and we had so many problems with it as it was because of the people that were around. But we didn't actually even get a chance to do that because, as it turns out, the mic I was using just really isn't powerful enough on its own when it's plugged straight into the camera, despite it being a powered microphone with a 20 decibel boost. You basically can't hear anything. And I realized the last few times I've been out, I've been using that mic, and it's been meh. But I have, and I just wasn't using it. An older to me XLR shotgun microphone that takes 48 volt phantom power. That I know works better. So I've switched that out. Now I gotta get to walking. there's deer just over there resting, and I don't want to disturb them. So we're going to walk back to the car, and then we're going to talk. I don't feel too bad about sitting in the car for a few minutes because there's a lot more open parking spots. I say that as I see 3 cars coming up on the road, so we're probably gonna need to move. In which case I'll start getting set up for something else for Patreon. But anyway, what did we see? Well, immediately when we got here, first of all, I had just recorded something, and then I was standing at the back, I recorded another thing, and pretty much as soon as I stopped recording, I heard a car, which isn't that surprising, but I heard it coming from that unpaved road, which is not car allowed to be there. It's very much closed for the public, and it says so. It's very specific. But you know who it's not closed for? A park ranger. So there was a park ranger who then pulled up and saw me and came over and gave me a friendly reminder that the park is not open until sunrise. They are specific about that. There is not a grace period like some places where it's X amount of minutes, 30 minutes usually before sunrise. No, sunrise. There are apps that can tell you what time the sun, okay. Very friendly, perfectly fine, just gave me a warning, a friendly reminder, and he's like, it's 15 minutes, it's not that big a deal, but days are getting shorter, know that that's the case. Okay, absolutely. So, unfortunately, it kind of put the damper on what I need to do specifically, because obviously we got to follow the rules. That's what they're there for, and it's not going to do any good to get in trouble, so I timed it after that point. He said 15 minutes, he was being a little generous. It was closer to 20, I think, but close enough to the point where the official sunrise was. But it took me 20 minutes to walk to the location. I timed it today. I looked. It was 20 full minutes to get up along that road, all the way over there, carrying all the equipment, and just get to the location. And then probably another, 10 or 15 to set everything up, because I'm setting up 3 cameras and the audio device. 2 cameras. I don't know. It takes a couple minutes. And so you're kind of missing that golden hour. So it's not the most ideal for something like that. But what are you going to do? It's the best that we can do. But it did make me think about something. And we'll come back to that now. So we can talk about what we saw wildlife-wise. There wasn't a whole lot. Plenty of deer like last time. That was the majority of what we saw today. There was a flock of birds that made me go, what is that? They're like big, and there's a whole bunch of them. And they kept doing like rounds overhead. So I was capturing them with the wide as best I could, and I was capturing them on the close-up with my own until they went in and landed, and I went, oh, that's pigeons or mourning doves? I'm not entirely sure. I think it may have been both, because I feel like I saw both kind of colorings, but pigeons, I think. Just pecking at the ground, doing stuff. They were larger, which made me think, are they grouse or, some kind of prairie chicken type of thing? I think they were just pigeons. Still, that's cool. I see pigeons in town. I don't usually see pigeons out. I do see mourning doves out and about in the nature. But we saw that. Obviously prairie dogs, some rabbits. Not too much on the birds today. No prairie falcons, unfortunately, like we saw last time. And only got to see the scrub jay for just a minute. There's one point where I'm looking and I'm watching. There's a northern flicker. I can see the red on the wings. Very cool. Watching and looking and checking out, and then all of a sudden, right next to me, the tree that I'm now sitting in, and I said I was going to go further, but I went closer this time, but it still gave me a pretty good wide open view. I just didn't really see too much today, but in the tree that I was sitting in the shade of, there's one of the scrub jays, I'm pretty sure, that we saw from last time, making quite some noise. So I wasn't really set up, ready to record, sitting right next to me, so I just grabbed the chest mount camera and turned that on. Hopefully that came out with some kind of audio, but
it was all that. So the other thing that did while I was sitting out there is downloading another widget, because apparently the two that I already have on my phone give me all kinds of details about the weather locations, because that's very important when you're coming out. You don't want to get caught in too windy or too rainy. I've been doing this for a few years now, but I didn't have the sunrise specifically, so I found that, and I got to thinking about it and looking around, and I wound up going onto the Parks Department website while I was sitting out there. I apparently have internet in this area, which is nice, and looking through some of the things there, trying to see if they list the parks that I can go to where they open a half hour before sunrise, because really that's the best time for me to be out there, so I can get set up by sunrise and get that nice soft golden hour sun light hitting, and that's when the birds are the most active. Like, that's the most ideal for me, but rules are rules. They don't have anything listed like that, unfortunately. I should have asked the ranger, to be honest with you. Once we had the conversation, I should have just stopped a bit, like, hold on a minute, and talked to him. But I didn't think about it until after. So but it did make me look through something, and I've done something now. While I was sitting out there not seeing much wildlife, I had the motivation to just do something that I wouldn't normally do, because I don't. There are volunteer opportunities for the Parks Department. One of them is raptor monitoring. So you go out where the raptor nests are, sit there and watch them for 2 hours and document, collect data on them. I don't know exactly what it is. But we're going to find out. Maybe. It's a big maybe, because I don't know. I looked through all the requirements. It's like you do some training in January, and then they require you to go out and volunteer your time for 2 hours every other week. You know what I'm already doing for 2 hours every other week? So the question is simple, because it did not specifically mention. I emailed. There are no positions available open right now. Now, is that just this time of year, or are they just booked and they don't want more people because they can only have so many? That makes sense. I can wait. I'm patient. But I'm already going out and doing this. As long as they're okay with me bringing a camera and recording, then it's perfect. It's exactly what I want to do, and it gives me training from experts on where to go and find raptor nests, I assume, and then I just go and I capture the footage while I'm watching. Like, I'm already doing it. It's perfect. It would line up, but they might not be cool with that. They might specifically be like, no, in the rules, they just say you need to bring your own binoculars or a viewing scope, which I have. You need to, and be able to identify raptors and their behavior, which I can do. But they don't mention anything about bringing a camera. And they might not be okay with that. They might specifically see what I'm doing and think that I'm trying to capitalize on that, which I'm not really. In a way, I am collecting footage and recording it and putting it online and doing something. I'm not benefiting off of it necessarily. Technically, there's a Patreon, which you're welcome to join for behind-the-scenes footage and other things. But does that count? Like, would they see that? And I can understand completely if they see that. And I was open about what it is I'm doing. I emailed with an email address that is connected to that. If they were to look at the email address, it would be to my website, which is very open about exactly what it is. And they could go, no, we're not interested. We wouldn't be a good candidate. And I put specifically on there, would it be okay to bring a camera as long as it doesn't distract from the main focus of capturing the data of what they expect. This could be an opportunity that then next year I'm going out and you're going to see a lot of raptor footage if they give me permission, and they're cool with that. Raptors at the nest, being able to go out and see those kind of things. That would be fantastic, and I could use the training for years and years to come, because I don't really have any formal training of any kind. It's all me just figuring it out. Is that something that's going to happen? I have no idea. They could say no, and that's the end of that. But if they say yes, then that's what I want to do next year. But we'll see. I wouldn't normally do that. I've just been doing things on my own and figuring out what all I have to do and where to go and where I can go, what the rules are. There are some state parks where you are not allowed to bring a camera. They straight up say, they're like, you are not supposed to come here and do photography, which is insane to me. Especially when that seems like the kind of thing that I get. They don't want a camera crew coming in there. They don't want, somebody making a Netflix show to bring a crew of 15 people in to document those kind of things. That makes sense. Or they require special permits so that they can get paid. Like, I get it. But a single person bringing a camera with a tripod, that's why I haven't run into any trouble with that, really, except for places where I'm not allowed to go film. But anyway, we'll see. I wouldn't normally do that, and because it involves people, it involves talking to people. I don't really like doing that. It involves explaining what it is I'm doing, which I also don't like doing to real people in real life that much. But I gotta branch out and take some risks and do something. There's a reason that I've been doing this for years, and I've never once tried to actually join up with a group of people to go bird watching, That's usually a group activity, and I know that there are groups that do that, and I've seen some of them out there sometimes, and I've just never gone and introduced myself and tried to join up or something, or paid the dues or whatever. Like, we'll see. This is different. This could if it is possible that what I'm doing could benefit the scientists who actually need that data, then it's a win-win. I already want to go out and do this. I'm already doing it. You're not going to stop me from doing it as it is, as long as the rules say I could do it. So I'm already I'm already going out and doing all that stuff. If I can just jot down whatever notes they need me to do, or whatever it is in addition to what I'm doing, it's mutually beneficial, and I think it would be cool. We'll see. It's a step in a direction that I've never done before necessarily, but it would also be super useful to put on like my experience. If I turn this into a career like I want to do, and I'm trying to do it, then I can specifically be like, I worked with these counties' parks department to do monitoring of raptors. That'll look good. So that's what everything happened today. And that's all I got for this week. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.